First off, Ousmane Dembele won the Ballon d'Or yesterday. And I want to just get into this real quickly. And when I think about it, no, let's get the list up. Let's get the list up. What do we have here? Let me move myself over here. Number 1, Ousmane Dembele. Number 2, Lamine Yamal. Vitinha, Salah, Rafinha. I'll be real, a lot of people thought Rafinha had a good chance. Well, I didn't. You know what it is though, yeah? I feel like when it comes to these big awards, it's not just about what you did. I think it's also about branding. I think branding is important. Like, what's the sexy winner? I feel like when they're picking these guys to win, what is the sexiest option? And if Rafinha, if they came out and said Rafinha was the best player in the world, to me that just sounds, it's very brushable. It's like when Nedved won it. When realistically it should have been Henry, but we're not going to get into that today. I don't know. And I don't know about this list, man. I'm just not sure. I think like I wanted players to be in here that aren't playing anymore. And I think what the Ballon d'Or should tell everyone is that the general standard in football is in hell. If these are the top 10 players in the world, Dembele, Yamal, Vitinha, Salah, Rafinha, Hakimi, Mbappe, Palmer, Donnarumma, Nuno Mendes. How many forwards is even in this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This might be the first time in football history that only 5 of the top 10 players are forwards. Do you know how mad that is? And when I say forwards, I mean like people you expect to leave with 20 goals, or like they are your leading attacking focal point. Like, you know, that's a bad example, but they are your bagsmen. Like, they may be on the wing, but like Cole Palmer, I wouldn't count him as a pure forward. So I wouldn't count him in that. To me, he's a midfielder, innit? Yeah, I just think this is mad. I think the state of ball right now is in hell. I'll be real. The state of ball is in hell. Anyway, moving on to the next item of news today. Noni Madueke is out for 2 months. And as an Arsenal fan, I'll be real, we can't catch a break. We're never going to catch a break. Never. But luckily, Saka is back. You know, he brought his kneecaps back. Somehow they managed to bring him back. But I'll be real, yeah. People that say, like, even when we got all them defensive injuries last year, people are like, Arteta, why you keep buying defenders? Big man, we were down to our last 4. Even with these, like, even I was like, why are we buying Noni Madueke? But then Saka got injured and we were cooked. And now Noni's injured. This is why you need a big squad. And I'm genuinely happy that we have this big squad. Because now when you look at it, if someone gets injured, we're not cooked anymore. For the first time in God knows, bro, man are getting injuries and we aren't cooked. Saliba was out the other day. Mosquera, boom. Noni's out. Saka's back, thank God. But let's say they were both out. We can figure that out. Put Martinelli on the right or something. We can figure that out because now we actually have a very deep squad for the first time, that I can remember. But yeah, it's a shame because Noni was actually cooking, and we don't know what's gonna come back. And you see like these knee injuries that I feel like it takes a long time for these people to come back from and actually like get going again. Do you know what I mean? Because I feel like you got to trust the knee again as well. But we don't know what it is. Let me actually give this a quick read. What's going on here? Does it say anything about the injury? No, it doesn't. Hey. First half, from us to say any event could, of course, it seems like it wasn't it might have been sent for cautionary scans on the issue. Please take your rumors with a pinch of salt. Happy to prove wrong or any case. Yeah, so we don't know exactly what it is. We don't know exactly what it is yet, but they're saying 2 months, and 2 months is a long time. That's a long time still. And then when he comes back, what does he look like? Like, how do we get him back into rhythm? If Saka's cooking, is he gonna get the game time to even start cooking again? Who knows, man? It's dark, but wish him the best, man. Wish him the best. You know, he's one of us now. You got to support him, even though he was a scumbag last year. But he's with us now, so you got to firm it. Anyway, moving on. So Aston Villa is a club that has always interested me. Do you know what's mad? When I was at nine, I had Aston Villa pajamas. Fun fact. But Aston Villa is a club that has always interested me because of, I feel like they always come in and out of it. Like, if man remember from Jurors for Cell days, these type of people, they've always been somewhere around it. They've never really been in hell. They're like, to me, they're like Spurs, bro. I'll be real. They're actually, they might as well be Spurs. They're just like a tad below Spurs, maybe. But to me, they're basically Spurs, isn't it? They're basically Spurs. But yeah, recently they've got rid of their director of football operations. So I think they're actually trying to do a big shake up. Wonder what that's gonna mean for my boy Emery. Their signings I always find very interesting. I feel like they're signing the same type of forward every time. It's like, what are they, guys? Like, are they a winger? Are they a 10? Probably neither. I feel like they're kind of sitting in this inside forward type role. And I just don't know how many of them you want. Like, how many people do you want like that? But yeah, anyway. Yeah, they've got rid of him. I think they're looking for a new... I think they're looking for a new direction, which is going to be interesting. Be interesting to see where they take it. Because I think they've made some really big strides. But obviously, they're having a lot of PSR problems. Which we'll get onto next, in fact. We'll get onto next. But I don't know. I don't know what... I always thought that they would make that next step. But the issue in the Premier League is that once you get to that point where you're challenging top 4, to get beyond that is now business. Like, and that is one of the main problems with the Premier League. Like, how do you get past the point of challenging the top 6? Because the only person that's done it in the last, God knows, is Man City. Really. Outside of Man City, and they bust the door open, which is why I feel like they've got them 115 charges anyway. Like, outside of Man City, who has really bust the traditional top 6? Technically, they made it a top 6. So realistically, how can you do that in today's world? I just think it's low-key impossible. So I think they can change whatever they want. I think you need to cheat. I'll be honest. To bust the top 6 and stay there, I think you need to cheat. I'll be honest with you. And that's why I think Man City cheated, little rats. Apparently, there's going to be some very big changes to the PSR and spending rules. First, PSR. Clubs can lose up to 150 mil over 3 years. Stuff like academies, the women's team, and the stadium work doesn't count. So when you, like that is how much your club can be in the negative. So like this saves people from coming in from Saudi and just blasting the league. Just absolutely blasting the league, and thank God, because Newcastle and Man City would have us in hell right now, and they would have made 9 Messis and bought them all from another club. I don't know. Don't ask me to explain that one. Anyway, so transfers. The 100 mil transfer fee doesn't hit in one go. It's spread over a maximum of 5 years. So that's 20 million a year on the books. No more hiding with 8-year deals. Chelsea, sorry. Sponsorships. Related party money has to be fair market value. You can't just slap your owner's company on the shirt for double the price to juice revenue. Barcelona. Yeah, so for example, if the owner of the club owns Spotify and they also own Barcelona, they can't just make a fake deal to sponsor Barcelona and give them 9 trillion. No names. I'm not even doing the name stuff here. Anyway, so now what people are talking about is the squad cost ratio. Wages and transfer amortization plus agent fees are capped as a percentage of revenue. Think around 70% for UEFA clubs and a bit higher for others. And there's something they're calling anchoring, which is tying spend to a multiple of the league's smallest earner. It's not adopted, but it's being debated, which I think is an interesting thought, because they're really trying to level this playing field. Because let's say for example there's a club like Man United, yeah, and they make so much money. For them to get in a loss of 105 million, they can spend a lot of money. Whereas, like, let's say a Sunderland, by the way, I'm pulling these teams out of my ass. Let's say a Sunderland who doesn't make a lot of money, for them to get in 105 mil loss, it's very easy because they don't make a lot of money. Let's say they make no money. If they spend 105 million, they're in 105 million loss. It's over. Whereas if Manchester United make $1 billion, they have to lose $1 billion and 105 million for them to be in that loss. Anyway, so I think what this means is these clubs are going to have to be a lot more savvy, which is more smart sales, especially academy grads, tighter wage control, and fewer wild sprees. Arsenal, unfortunately, but we got it in before they closed it. So, but yeah, I think what's interesting about this is how. But okay, so now this is the issue. Yeah, I feel like these clubs are so smart, there's always loopholes. So, like, for example, yeah, let's say you are a Sunderland and you have an academy graduate, yeah. These clubs are, and let's say for example Sunderland had a Max Diamond. Do you think he's staying at Sunderland till he's 20 so they can get the max fee for my man? That's not going to happen. He's getting nabbed at 13. They're getting 100k for him. So the reality is, these clubs that if you're trying to actually make these sell, like the only people that can get away, that could have got away with this is Chelsea, and also academies aren't even profitable anyway. But let's say you are sorry, back to the point. If you're a Sunderland and you're trying to make money with these sales, you're hoping that you're getting the people they're going to make money off of is late bloomers. Like if you've got one of the best kids in the country at 14, 13, he's gone by 18 max, and that's a push. One of the top Cat 1 academies are coming to eat him. So realistically, this is what I don't understand here, this is why I get back to the point. Like, how are these clubs going to get to the point where they can compete with an Arsenal or a Man United? And it's that life. I think sometimes you got to accept that that's what you're going to be for life. Or you're going to have to change that over a 30, 40-year period. And who's going to stick around for 30, 40-year period? That is my point in it. I just don't know. I just think these rules are cool and they're going to be attempts. But all I think these rules will end up doing is allowing other leagues to catch up with the top Premier League sides, rather than the smaller teams catching up with the top Premier League sides. That is my opinion on that. Yeah, I think we're gonna leave the news for the day there. I think it's really interesting. There's a lot of interesting stuff happening in ball at the moment, even with Aston Villa's guy leaving and that, which I think then ties into all this other stuff. I think they want to make this a fair league, but at the end of the day, you're not gonna have the biggest league in the world, or the hardest league, or the highest spend league by holding the big boys back and letting the little man catch up. Because while you're doing that, the other leagues are gonna catch up to you. I think like to limit all these big clubs from doing certain things, and to make it fairer for the little clubs, you're also gonna allow other leagues to catch up. That's what I think. Like they're not. Like, that's what I think is not being. That's what I think is not in consideration. But yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. Very interesting. But yeah, boys. Daily videos, daily uploads. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, or I'm going to bang in your face. Thank you very much.